So I've talked about this before when this force was reported and forced by the court. And as you know, I have huge respect for the former Finnish Prime Minister. I literally went all the way from Ireland to Finland just recently to see her. She's truly one of the greatest people of our time, Sanna Marin. I know people might disagree with that, but I think everybody can agree that when it comes to somebody stalking and particularly trying to break into somebody's house and frightening somebody to this extent, and especially when they have a young daughter, etc., and especially on Christmas Eve, I think we can all agree, whatever your opinion is of Sanna Marin, nobody deserves that, and nobody deserves to be tormented, and nobody deserves to be afraid in their own home. And I think we should all just agree on that, because that is just a fundamental of society, that every citizen should feel safe in their own home, in their own house, without worry of being attacked or being threatened, etc. This is appalling. First of all, this is appalling that the Finnish state and the Finnish media, as you see here, you think his name would be front and centre. Tell us who he is. I know who he is. I found out everything about him. I literally know everything more nearly about him probably than the Finnish state knows about him. But he is being protected. Like, let's be fair, his face should be front and centre, because he shouldn't be able to walk the streets of Helsinki. He generally shouldn't. He shouldn't be in Finland in the first place. He's done this 3 times. There's a lot to go through here, but he's done this 3 times to women. He thinks he can control women. He thinks he can tell women what to do, and that's what he is. He just generally thinks that. He's done this to 3 women along with the former Finnish Prime Minister. He thinks he can control them, as simple as that. He doesn't have any respect for women. And we hear this a lot in society, particularly in the West, in Ireland and in Finland, that women's rights, etc., are under attack, and women in general too face a lot of criticism, and that's true. But this is the thing, when actual women are getting abused, this is abuse, let's be fair. The Finnish state doesn't want to know about it. They're talking about giving them 9 months for doing it, and he's up in court already too for another incident involving the nurse where he sexually assaulted her. So what's the deal here? What's the general deal? Because he is on a residency permit. He should be sent home. He generally should be sent home. He shouldn't be in Finland. He's caused enough trouble in Finland. He's literally targeted the 3 women, and like Sanna Marin, probably the 2 other women are probably terrified. And the Finnish state took their time in bringing this case to court. We still don't have a date on how long he's going to get in prison, or if he's going to be deported. I would want him deported. I've said this from the very start. He's blown his right to stay in Finland. He shouldn't be there. He should be back in Turkey. You can see he can cause trouble over there in Turkey because they won't put up with it. Simple as that. They wouldn't put up with it in Turkey. He wouldn't get off with it. Simple as that. But this is the thing. 9 months is an insult. They're talking about giving them 9 months. They should send them home. That's the simple answer. And tell them never to touch Finnish soil again. But this is insulting, and especially when you read through this, it is very, very upsetting, especially because I met Sanna Marin, as I said. She's a wonderful person. She's a really, really pleasant person, and she's generally a huge inspiration to me. She's one of the, in my opinion, the greatest person I ever met. There's no doubt about that. And she didn't. There's no woman, nobody deserves this, even politicians I don't like, etc. No politician deserves this, like to be in their own home and have somebody violate their personal space, especially with their young child. On a Christmas Eve, think about that. On Christmas Eve, when the child's looking forward to Christmas, I don't even want to call him a man, because he's not even a man. He's a coward. He's a woman intimidator. He's a woman abuser. That's what I would call him. And again, it's insulting. I think Yal too should be disgracing themselves at the moment, because they should have his name. They should say who he is and where he's from, and how many offences he's committed. Because let's be fair, they should be honest with people. Because if it happened in Ireland, his name would be front and centre. In fairness, it would be. Even though he's a foreign national in Finland, his name would be front and centre. And in fairness, that's what should be. Because he deserves no right to privacy. He deserves no right to anything. He deserves no right to anything. He's literally broken the law. He's intimidated women. He's done this 3 times. He intimidated, and he threatened to kill a young girl before. So let's not forget all about that. But as she says, about security measures and stuff, and you can read through it yourself, but about the Parliament door, etc. But I do feel, it's utterly ridiculous. Like, this is the only picture we have of him. He's back. But this is the thing. I'll show you this now. This is Sanna Marin today. Like the media, and I'm sure people if you see the video, the media are all taking photos of Sanna Marin. Of course, she's the victim here, and of course, she's the former Finnish Prime Minister. But this is the fellow who caused all this. Because let's be fair, the only thing Sanna Marin did was live in a house and walk the streets of Helsinki. This man actively sought her out and actively went to her house to intimidate her on the street, and tried to break into her house and disturb the peace. And the Finnish media, even though he's sitting this side, They don't want to go near him. They're too busy taking photos of Sanna Mauen. And of course, she is the victim here. But this is the thing, and especially the last time in January, I nearly lost the plot, because in every newspaper it was this. In every newspaper was this: a picture of Sanna Mauen and the blood face. The perpetrator, the person who caused all this. And God knows what he could have done if he got into her apartment. God knows. That's the simple truth. Especially with a young daughter there. God only knows what he could have done. And I know he's using the excuse mental health. And as Sanna Mauen herself said, my only hope, and this is all hope, that nobody will ever have to go through this and will repeat towards me or anyone else. And that's the simple truth. And that's my hope too, really generally it is. That this fella will never have the chance. He should never have the chance to do this again in Finland. To any woman in Finland. And the only reason, I think she probably nearly would agree with me, that the only way to get rid of him is deport him, send him home. Simple as that. Because he's blown his opportunity in Finland. The Finnish government said to him, yeah, we give you a chance, we let you come into Finland, you build a life here. He's blown that. He's done this 3 times. And as you see with poor Sanna Mauen here, and poor child too, he's caused enormous fear, he's caused enormous anxiety. And he doesn't deserve. He doesn't deserve to be in Finland. He doesn't deserve a residency permit. There's so many other people who are good people, who do good things in the world, and you maybe apply for a residency permit and get denied. And this fellow's here committing crimes against women, and he still has his residency permit. What is the Finnish government going to do about that? Are they going to cut it up and send them home? Because that's the only way to stop this. Because, let's be fair, what they're talking about 9 months, he'd go in for 9 months and he'd come out and do the same thing again. And he could do worse, God forbid, to Sanna Mauen. Because he probably would want revenge. Because I don't think he's sorry in the slightest. Generally honest with you, I don't think he's sorry in the slightest. Because, let's be fair, if he was sorry, if he was genuinely sorry, he would get out of Finland and never to return. Like, that's what he should do. If he was generally sorry, he would sit there, he would tell the judge, he would ring up the judge, or he would ring up the prosecutor and say, I would save all this hassle and just leave forever and never come back to Finland. And I think everybody would be happy with that. I think Sanna Mauen would also, if he never just darkened the door of Finland again. I think that's what everybody would have. Because that's the only way to protect women. And I think generally, because he doesn't respect women, and it's simple as that. But I do feel generally very sorry for Sanna Mauen. As you see the pictures here of him hanging around her apartment and stuff, like, this is not just once off, this is many times. And you see here the doorbell camera, etc. It's very disturbing stuff. And particularly when she talks about her daughter, etc. He says about her daughter Emma was particularly scared. And she's only a young child. She was only probably 5 at the time when this happened. Yeah, she about 6, 5, something like that. But it's I have no mercy for him, and he should have no mercy. As I said, 36 disturbing the peace. He's also accused of stalking a sexual harass an occupied nurse. 9 months is not good enough. 9 months. Deportation is the only answer. Whatever, but give him 9 months and deport him straight away after that. But I think this is the best option for every woman in Finland. And generally honest, that's what deportations are for, to protect society, protect people from coming into Finland, from, take what's happened in Ireland's case too, coming into Ireland, abusing the system, abusing the national people of that country. And in this case, this man has done nothing but abuse the people of Finland. And he's done nothing but take and give nothing back to the people of Finland. He has abused many times women. He undermines them at every turn. He's literally taken social welfare, free legal aid from the Finnish state. He has an interpreter. He can't speak proper Finnish. He doesn't deserve to be in Finland. He doesn't deserve to be allowed to walk the streets of Finland. Every Finnish citizen will be a lot more safer with this man removed from their country. And I think that's the answer. And whatever else after that, they can give him 9 months and deport him. That's what I think, because it is insulting that we say we care about women, particularly in Ireland and stuff too. They say we care about women, we want to protect women. But when these cases happen, there's crickets. And that's the thing, there's crickets. Where is Holly Cairns? Where is Ivana Bacik in Ireland? Why are they not calling this out? Because this is an attack on women. And as I say, Sanna Mauen is truly one of the greatest people of all times. In my eyes, like, there's no doubt about it. But I think this is wrong. Generally, I think this is wrong on every level. And especially what he done to the nurse and then his other partner. But yeah, no, I think this is wrong. Like, the whole justice system in this case is wrong. It should have been never went on this long. It should have been dealt with in January last year. It should have been dealt with in February. But this whole angle of mental health too, like there's no, it's just an excuse. It's not mental health. Nobody would do that in mental health. Why would he do that in mental health? And maybe he would go mad and stuff, walking around the street and just talk to himself and stuff. But he clearly knew what he clearly sought her out. This is the thing. He clearly went and found her apartment. He followed her home, and then kept going to her apartment and stuff. Like, he clearly knew what he was doing. He clearly knew what he was doing around, and he's not slow. Simple as that. He's not slow. But my honest hope is too that Sanna Marin gets her wish, well, she should, that this man will never hurt another Finnish citizen again, or will never hurt her or family again. And I truly hope that. And I truly hope that the judge sees sense and sends him home. And generally, honestly, send him home. You can give him 9 months and then send him home. That would be probably maybe ideal. But I think he's blown his people that are good people in Finland. There's people, I know a good lot of people in Finland, they're very good people, they're very decent people. And they deserve to walk the streets without people like him on the streets with them. With those small, I know people have small children. And they deserve to walk the streets at Helsinki or Tampere or wherever it is in Rovaniemi without, and I deserve too when I go on holidays to Finland not to see these kind of people in Finland as a tourist too, because these people don't deserve to be in society. These people don't deserve to be walking around the streets freely in a free country like Finland, to do this to women. As I say, I'm truly sorry that Sanna Marin went through this. I am truly sorry. And again, the state has failed her. In the nicest possible terms, the state has failed her. Simple as that. Because this is, and the media has failed her too. Because this man should never be allowed to have his face blurred. He's caused this crime. It's not like Sanna Marin went to his house particularly and maybe rang him up and asked him. He caused all this. This wouldn't have happened if he didn't do what he did. Simple as that. But this is insane that the media still protects him. He deserves no protection, even though he's a foreign national. They could argue, it would damage social cohesion and stuff because he's a foreign national. To hell and to Connacht with that. Because I couldn't. First of all, if you commit a crime, you deserve no anonymity. Whatever you do, you deserve no decency. If you break the law, violate the law, there's no remorse. Simple as that. You break the law, you suffer the consequences of the law, and that's as simple as that. And again, more in this case too. If he was a Finnish national too, I'd be saying the exact same thing, that he should be getting a harsher punishment, being put in prison. But still, because he's a non-national, he shouldn't be treated lightly. Simple as that. He shouldn't be treated lightly, because if a Finnish citizen done this too, I would want him to go to prison. He might not be able to be deported because he's a Finnish citizen, he's a Finnish national, but he is on a residency permit. He should be deported. But again, my main thing, and I think the main thing we should say is that I'm glad. Hopefully everything works out, and I hope it does for Sanna Marin, and I'll try it, and put, of course, the 2 other people, the nurse that was involved in the other case. I hope it all works out. I hope this man gets harsh punishment and they feel a bit more safer at night. Hopefully, please God. And again, I just want to say, she is an amazing person, Sanna Marin. One of the greatest, like, without a doubt. Generally is one of the nicest people you would ever meet. And it's a pity that there is bad people in the world, of course, but Sanna Marin is one of the good people in the world, and she didn't deserve this, and nobody deserves this. Not even the bad people deserve this, to be frightened in their own home. Just evil. Thank you.